Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Wright, for appearing here today. Right now, the United States is in the pole position when it comes to advancing artificial intelligence. But just as in any race, competitors, and specifically China, is right behind us. By the end of the decade, the data centers necessary for this AI could consume almost 10% of all electricity in the United States. In Pennsylvania, we have that necessary natural gas that you just mentioned to meet the increased demand and beat China in the AI race. If America wants to remain in the lead, it will require an all-of-government approach to follow through on President Trump's executive orders and restore American energy dominance. Secretary Wright, your department, you know this, will play a critical role in this work. One of the challenges that you will have to navigate is to balance between new energy demand for data centers and maintaining reliability for the electric grid. Recently, the DOE issued an emergency Section 202C order requiring the operation of 2 legacy generation units in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania past their planned retirements, citing, dutifully noted as well, concern with resource adequacy and reliability. Federal policy from the Biden administration that disincentivizes the development of new dispatchable energy generation made your actions ultimately necessary. Now, with the Trump administration and your leadership, we need to expedite these long-delayed reliability measures. How can the DOE collaborate with state governments and authorities to ensure timely development and connection of new baseload power so that the legacy systems can be taken offline as planned?
Yeah, it's a great question and comments, Congressman. And in fact, just last week, I spent an hour or so with some developers trying to do a very large project in your state that would take a legacy coal plant, convert it to natural gas, expand the size of it far beyond where it was, co-locate data centers there. And that's exactly what we want to see happen in this country. And as you said, winning the AI race isn't a nice to have, it's a have to have. This is a national security issue if China gets ahead of us in AI. And so what we're trying to do is get lists, and it's not just the Energy Department, it's the federal government. We're trying to get lists of what are the roadblocks for you to get this permit or to do that? What are your problems? And let us dig into the government and find out how we can address those issues. But it's about permitting, it's about moving some of the regulatory morass out of the way. Ultimately, we're going to have to fix the Clean Power Plan 2.0 that requires this carbon sequestration, 10 years out into the future. Like, that's just not going to happen. But if that law is in there, it's a huge disincentive to build new power infrastructure. So there's many things that need to be done, but you're right. Pennsylvania, tremendous legacy as a coal mining state. Now it's got the greatest natural gas field in the world under your state. I think that with common sense government, the future of Pennsylvania could be very, very bright.
Well, thank you. And I think that your ability to recognize that will allow those data centers to continue to be developed to your point, in previous settings that were coal-powered plants moving on. Part of ensuring a reliable power grid is creating an inviting and a predictable environment for new infrastructure investment. While it is imperative that we ensure federal dollars are only being used for worthwhile process, the review of many of the grants and loans made by the last administration was truly a lengthy one. Even projects that align with Trump's administration goals to unleash American energy can be left in an unsteady environment as the reviews continue to unfold. This dynamic can have a cooling effect on the desperately needed investment in generation, in infrastructure, and in innovation. How can the DOE help provide more confidence to stakeholders who need to make time-sensitive investment decisions while working through the investigation of waste, fraud, and abuse?
Mr. Secretary, if you can do that in 25 seconds.
Very fair question, Representative. And we are moving as fast as we can. We got a process in place. We have a team in place. We're getting through, maybe a dozen or more projects a week, maybe more than a dozen projects a week. And so by the end of this summer or middle of this summer, we're going to have clarity on most of the big projects. I want to do it as fast as I can, but given that track record, I got to do it responsibly. But I hear your concern, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you again for your leadership in this. I yield back.
Thank you.